God, that's Decimate? Ugh. At least he didn't hit our land. That's not gonna make any friends. Oh god, KO just found a Legion loyalty.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out Prosper Tomebound and see how many things we can cast from exile. Next on Commander Replay. Commander Replay merch, now available in orange and colors beside orange.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Prosper Tomebound today. And today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Jared. And he's been waiting a little while for this one, so sorry to Jared for this one taking so long. But taking a look at our opening hand here, doesn't look great. We're probably going to have to mulligan that. Mulligan that. Wow, it's somehow worse. Mulligan again. I guess it's going to be this one. We'll keep... I guess we'll get rid of the tapped one. We can just like grab that with the Bloodstained Mire or something. I do like that we have an Ignite the Future in the hand. That can sort of get us out of the mulligan a little bit. We have a Demonic Tutor also. Potentially more card draw. Potentially ramp if no ramp shows up. We'll see how things go here. Trying to evaluate the power level of this commander before the game with everyone was fairly difficult. I played one game with it already. It didn't go particularly well. I think I overestimated the deck just a teeny bit. And everyone brought out their really strong decks. And from what I played from this particular list, this deck didn't seem like that. I think there are some pretty savage combo decks with it, though, from what I've heard. Just that I haven't really seen it very much myself. Anyway, brings it to our turn. Bloodstained Mire, crack a Bloodstained Mire. Yeah, we'll get that, what's it called? Sulphurous Mire. Pass like that. I mean, do we Demonic Tutor for like a Soul Ring? Because that'll get us going kind of good. And that'll get us more card advantage with our commander in play. I think I like that. And it'll allow us to like use the Ignite the Future either sooner or have more mana available when we do it, which I also like. Spirited Companion coming in for KO. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. Yeah. Brings back to our turn. There's a Blood Crypt. We'll play the Dragon Skull Summit. Then we're going to play the Demonic Tutor and go get the Soul Ring like we talked about, just because I think that'll do nice things for us. Soul Ring. We've actually been playing no Mana Crypt on the channel as of late, and you know what? This format is a lot better without Mana Crypt. There, I said it. Because here's a perfect example. Right now, we're starting turn 3, and, well, other than Dwubber, who's missing land drops, no one is significantly behind on turn 2 or turn 3. When everyone at the table has Soul Ring and Mana Crypt, almost every game, one player is going to have one of them. The way the percentages work out, someone almost always has it. It's not always you. And that means that one player is usually very far ahead and the other 3 are trying to catch up, and it's just rough. It doesn't feel good, right? I like not having to be stressed out on turn 3. You know, as people start ramping through turns 4, 5, and 6, that doesn't bother me as much because you have time to interact with things. And, you know, when you think about the fact that, like, a lot of the good removal in this format is 3 mana, if someone's going wild on turn 2, like, half of your interaction is probably uncastable at that point in time unless you had fast mana. So, I don't know, that's been a whole thing. Anyway, I'm going to get blasted in the comments now. Brings it back to our turn. KO did get himself a Daxos to Returned in, definitely doing an enchantments thing over there. We will play the Mountain, I guess, and then get the Soul Ring, cast our commander, and if nothing good shows up here, then we'll look to play the Ignite the Future next turn. There's Vandal Blast on top. Currently only one target in the Swiftfoot Boots, but decent target nonetheless. Cracks a Myriad Landscape. Yep. Jeff says that he has Arcane Signet and Kodama's Reach in hand, and Cultivate, so we might be able to get back in it even though we missed a couple lands here. Yeah, risky keep. Bit him for a couple turns, but if the game goes long enough, I think he'll be fine. He finally caught a second land, gets that Arcane Signet in. Next turn, he'll be on Kodama's or Cultivate, so there's an Urborg in play. Hey, everything is a swamp. This Rakdos Charm will be really handy against Ghen, who just came into play because this is graveyard removal, so we'll want to hang on to this. KO's going to do a little poke with the Spirited Companion. Sure. Revel in Riches is a magic card. Okay, so what I think I want to do right here is go Swamp, Revel in Riches. And then we'll just single shot the Vandal Blast on these Swiftfoot Boots. And that'll make a treasure. We should take a read of our commander, by the way. Yeah, KO's got a few things on board. We'll just stay back. 1/4, Death Touch. Great blocker. Not so much a good attacker. Oh, that's a Chaos Warp. Nice. So, Prosper Tomebound, 4 mana, 1/4, Death Touch, Mystic Arcanum at the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card, as a land tax comes in. And Pact Boon, whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. So, it's a decent little value engine just by being in play, which is cool. Does incentivize you to run cards that let you play things from exile, but there are plenty of those in red now, so yeah. Taking a quick peek at the deck. As far as I can tell, the main win conditions are stuff like Marionette Master. I've got some X spells like Cut to Ribbons, and yep, there's Exsanguinate and Torment of Hellfire up here, so those can be pretty nasty. Kalemne coming in for opponent. They were asking what deck they should play before the game, and I'm like, you know what? I'm very curious to see this Kalemne deck. I haven't seen one in a long time, and they're doing the 5 CMC tribal thing, not the Voltron thing, so that should be really cool as well. As I was thinking about it, we see that Kodama's Reach go off for Jeff, by the way. And as I was thinking about it, I think the tools are in place that you could build a decent 5 CMC plus tribal deck with Kalemne. Because the ramp has gotten a lot better, because the card draw has gotten a lot better, I think that's a thing that you can actually do and probably have some success with. The ability that Kalemne gets off that still isn't the best, right? It just does more damage, and like that's fine. It doesn't it's not going to blow you away. But I still think you can build a fun and decently effective deck with all of the new ramp and card draw tools that are available. If you play a Showdown of the Scalds and cast like 1 5 CMC creature, or even 2 for that matter, then Kalemne's going to be very large. It's a Gravebreaker Lamia for KO. Yeah, let's see what he goes for. Outlaws Merriment. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I was going to attack with a 1/1. Yep. Brings back to our turn. Another Swamp. Ouch. Play the Swamp. Actually, I think I'm going to Chaos Warp this Daxos. Getting rid of the Ghen. It slows him down, but he just recasts it. He doesn't really lose that much. So I think I feel better about getting rid of the Daxos. That card in the long run can beat you. So I feel all right about this. He gets a land off it. That's fine. He'll get to scry. We're up to 2 treasures for our Revel in Riches. Nice. Now's actually a good time to play a tap land. So we'll play the Blood Crypt tapped. And I think we're just going to pass like that and probably set up for the Ignite the Future next turn. I just want to make sure that we have as much mana up as possible when we cast it, just in case we run into like big stuff or whatever. What I've learned with these impulse cards is that you should wait as long as reasonably possible before casting them. Like, you shouldn't cast Ignite the Future on turn 4 if you have something else to do that is impactful. You know, wait till turn 5, wait till turn 6. If you can, if you can ramp a little bit first, that's going to make it much better. Because if you catch an awkward draw, like if you don't hit a land with the Ignite the Future on turn 4, you probably can't cast all 3 cards. You might only be able to cast 1, so... Well, opponent's got a Sun Titan. They're going to get those Swiftfoot Boots back, and that's an experience counter on Kalemne. Yep. Fortunately, they don't have the mana to equip the Sun Titan, although, I mean, getting back a Myriad Landscape is really good too, though. That Sun Titan's going to be a thing. That's a card that can beat you. I personally rank Sun Titan as the second best creature in white, though you could make an argument that it is the best creature in white based on how much more it's played. I would say that the most powerful creature in white is still Elesh Norn, just that it has a very different type of effect. I think I've talked about it at least once or twice. I was playing a game with my Elesh Norn deck a few years ago, and everyone at the table was still in the 30s. Like, they still had most of their life. I resolved an Elesh Norn, and they all just scooped. They're just like, I'm not going to be able to do anything this game, and no thanks. I see where this is going. And it wasn't even like it was a hard stacks deck or anything like that. It was just Elesh Norn plus creatures and, like, Blade of Selves to give everything -6. There's the Cultivate. But yeah, Elesh Norn really messes up the board, and as things keep getting smaller and more efficient, it's killing more and more stuff. There's at least one person at the table that can't cast their commander with an Elesh Norn in play. That's just how it goes. So I personally rank Elesh Norn as the strongest white creature, with Sun Titan coming in very closely behind it at second. But if you wanted to argue and flip-flop the order on those, I could definitely see it. Yeah, Jeff's back in it now. I think he's got more mana than us. He's on 6 lands. Oh, God, that's Decimate? Ugh. At least he didn't hit our land. That's not going to make any friends. We do get a treasure as the creature dies. Love it. He has tapped out for that play, though, which means he's wide open to take some Sun Titan attacks. Although, with the Sun Titan, you probably have to get the land back. That's what I would do personally. I would get that land back first before I go for the boots. Although, maybe you go for the boots just to protect the Sun Titan? Yeah, tough call there. Duke Older? Yeah, filmed this one yesterday. Should be coming out this week. That'll probably come out before this video. Cool little card. Powerful little card. Be careful. Oh, God, he's going to do it on the Gravebreaker? Yeah, he's going to... No. He's going to do it... Okay, he's just going to draw a bunch of cards. Oh, that makes sense. If Ghen stayed in play, I bet he does it on the Gravebreaker, and that'd be pretty ridiculous. Well, this is disappointing because we were probably about to get a bunch of treasures with the Revel in Riches. I've still never gotten the Revel in Riches win. I would say that I've probably played maybe 6 or 7 decks over the years that have had an opportunity to do it, and just, haven't been able to make it work. This one was looking good, right? It was down nice and early. Our commander makes treasures, which helps a lot. Yeah, we'll block one. KO goes up to 6 cards. Seems good. Opponent's going to block. Brings it back to our turn. Another land. Wow, we are flooding. Yeah, let's play this Ignite the Future. See what we hit. We hit land, 2 mana rocks, and a cut to ribbons. Okay. Let's play the command tower. We get a treasure. Yeah, love it. Play the liquid metal torque. We get a treasure. Also love it. Cast a Felwar Stone. Make a treasure. I love it cubed. And we'll play this cut. We could shoot either the Kalemne or the Gravebreaker Lamia. I kind of don't want KO filling up his graveyard. Tutoring 3 things to the graveyard, or I guess 2 to the graveyard every turn, seems really scary. So I'm going to cut the Gravebreaker Lamia, although that's an enchantment, isn't it? It is an enchantment. So in theory, he could just get that back, but it does mean he's got to jump through hoops to do it. So I feel okay about that. And we do get another treasure off that, so I love it to the 4th. And with that, we'll pass. Man, we're up to 6 treasures. If that Revel Enriches stuck around, we'd be more than halfway there. Exile trigger at the end step. Uba Mask. Oh my god, so nasty. Oh wow. Oh wow. That seems crazy in this deck. Because everything you draw afterwards is from exile. Oh, that seems so good. Land tax for opponent. Quakebringer. Your opponents can't gain life. At the beginning of your upkeep, does 2 damage to each opponent. This ability triggers only if Quakebringer is on the battlefield or in your graveyard, and you control a giant. Is this a giant? It is a giant. Makes sense. Also a giant. Oh, do they say this is giant tribal? I don't know if it's giant tribal or if it's just 5 CMC tribal. You could go either way with it. Kaldheim really helped the Giants tribe a lot. Gave a lot of new good giants, especially ones at like slightly lower CMCs. In years past, most of the giants were like 6 and 7 mana, which means you can only run so many 6 and 7 drops in your deck. And even worse is that like most of them don't really have evasion. They're big and they just get chumped by ground creatures. Where like comparing it to the Angels tribe, also a ton at 7 mana, they all have flying, so like most of the time they don't get blocked. Not to say you can't like easily give them trample and red, but you know, it's another hoop you got to jump through, and if you're spending all your mana, casting big creatures makes it difficult. Yeah, opponent gets their plateau back. Yeah, I think that's the way you have to go right there. Decimate is a brutal card. I don't think it would be as bad if it didn't hit the land. It'd still be really strong, but the land, I think, is what makes it extra punishing. That is 2 experience counters on Kalemne. That is now a 5/5 double strike vigilance. And yeah, Jeff took the giant hit right there. 10 commander damage down to 26 life. Yeah, that's what happens when you decimate people. Don't have any blockers. Rite of the Raging Storm. Love it. Oh my god. I've been wanting to run this card for years. I think it showed up in like 1 or 2 decks that I've played, but doesn't show up often. One of those cards from a bygone era. Rite of the Raging Storm trigger. What would be really funny, just for kicks, it's not the optimal play, but Myriad this thing would be funny. Would be funny. I think going for the card draw is still correct, though. Furbolg Flutist, what? Enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature you don't control. Untap it, it gains haste and Myriad until end of turn. Decent, probably overcosted at 6 mana. It is a giant, though. Maybe not. Zealous Conscript is 5, although Zealous Conscript has a lot of infinites and stuff with it, but even just casting it for value isn't an awful play. I wish it was 5 mana. 6 is a lot. What do they steal? They steal the... Oh, hey now. They steal the Mr. Orfeo. So something's going to attack with double power. And what does he want to copy? He's going to copy this guy. Oh, God. Oh, God. So that'll remove all the blockers, which is annoying. Coming in our way. We're going to lose our Death Toucher, so probably won't matter. He's going to attack with 2 creatures, and Mr. Orfeo will trigger on the Lightning Elemental token. Lightning Rager. Yeah, it'll be a 10-1 with trample. You know what, though? I think he attacked that over here, and this says double strike. Oh, he's going to steal it. Right. Yep, getting all of our stuff stolen. This is going to hurt. They're going to Boros Charm and give all their stuff indestructible, which does a couple things here. That makes it much harder to kill the Kalemne if they have something to do that with, but also means they can block profitably, so I like that play. It's a decent play right there. Soak up a bunch of that damage, not go to like 20 or whatever it's going to be. Everyone's saying nice plays, KO. Yeah, that's some pretty crazy stuff he's got going on over there. Oh, he gets the instep trigger? That's annoying. It's a plains, not the end of the world. And we get our stuff back. There's a Rite of the Raging Storm trigger for us. Burgy. Wow, that's interesting. Discard a card. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. Given how many lands we've drawn, I almost feel like that's the correct call. But the mana just seems ridiculous. Yeah, so here we go. We'll play the Pathway on red, just because there's an Urborg in play. Let's get Burgee in, even though the backside is kind of tempting. The backside is very tempting. We're gonna flashback Ignite the Future. We get a red mana. What'd we hit? Galvanic Relay. Exile the top card of your life. Oh, hey. Yeah, that's gonna be a thing. Skyclave Relic. Okay. It's gonna be tough to get this Uba Mask, though. Let's start with the Skyclave Relic. Oh, right, these are free casts. Right, I forgot. God, I love Ignite the Future. So good. Can we have cast that with Kicker for free? I wonder. Too late now. Lightning Greaves for free. More mana, more treasures. Uba Mask. More mana, more treasures. Galvanic Relay. More mana, more treasures. And Storm will trigger. 5 spells before it. Not bad. There's the copies. During your next turn. So I don't think we can cast them this turn. A couple lands in there. Valky is alright. Yeah, okay, so we can't cast those until our next turn, based on the way that that's worded. I guess we put the boots on Burgee. We can easily recast our commander if it goes down for some reason. KO's open to this Lightning Rager attack. Yeah, nothing to do with his mana right here. So we'll send this over to KO. Goes no blocks. If opponents get low enough, then in theory we can cut to ribbons, even if it only kills like 2 players. I'd be fine with that and just get down to, oh, hey, that's a chain reaction. Chain reaction probably means we're going to get attacked really hard. I don't love that they can see that. Quakebringer. 2 damage each opponent. Lightning Rager. Land tax. Marionette Master's in here, so if we survive, we win. Because we crack all the treasures, and then everyone dies. We'll see if opponents see it, but I do think that means we're going to get attacked pretty hard. One thing to think about is that if we had cut to ribbons spending a bunch of mana, we could theoretically get someone into Rakdos Charm lethal range, which would be fun. Jeff saying it's not hard for Prosper to accidentally blank its way into infinite mana. Yeah. Opponent's got an Iroas off that Uba Mask, which, yeah, here comes that Iroas. That's not going to be good. They can basically one-shot any of us, I think. Coming our way. Not coming our way. Coming our way. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Getting back the Swiftfoot Boots. I think we take and then leave the blockers for, like, KO's attack, because the Menace just makes it... I mean, also, we can't kill anything, right, because of Iroas, so... I think we take the damage here and then look for more profitable blocks elsewhere. Though we might not get that opportunity. Yeah, taken. You know, I think a big thing, too. So, the ramp and the card draw are well documented. We know those have gotten better in red-white, but I think the quality of creatures has gotten better, too. This thing does a lot on its mana cost, which is nice. And I mean, some of the cards are playing are older. Iroas has been around, Sun Titan's been around, I get that. But sort of the other creatures that aren't those things, because, like, these are cards that are at the very top of their game. The cards that are less than that have also gotten much better. So, you know, the things you can cast on 5 mana, like 5-6 years ago, like, you'd probably cast, like, a Baneslayer Angel, right? Which is a cool card. Undoubtedly a cool card. But it's not exactly so strong that it reshapes the game around itself, so... You know, that's another thing to think about. Yeah, just the quality of creatures should be higher as well. When I built my giant tribal deck, I did it with Iroas. And I went with that just because of, like, there's a lot of red creatures that do damage. And, I mean, you have to, like, get them in at instant speed, which isn't the easiest thing to do. But, you know, Quicksilver Amulet, you can use Scout's Warning if you want. Can be helpful for some of that stuff. But I liked Iroas a little bit better. But, I don't know, this Kalemne deck, it's threatening. They're going to Bedevil the Sun Titan. That's a fantastic idea. You know, they can see our chain reaction. I almost wonder if they should have held that. Unless they're planning to send a big attack in right here. They have Iroas, and Iroas just kind of blocks things all day. But I guess with Trample and Double Power, it still gets something through. They hit the Double Strike, though. They still have the Double Strike. Death's Presence, really good card in the right deck, and a Vampiric Tutor. Yeah, he's going to send it in, but I think he's going to get a Rude Awakening with this Double Strike. On the other hand, when that creature dies, like it's about to, this is going to get 10 power on it, and that's really ridiculous. To the point where this thing might survive our chain reaction. Yeah, it's a 12-14. Current state, it'll survive the chain reaction. Oh god, KO just found a Legion Loyalty. Well, might be able to get that Rakdos Charm killed depending on how this goes. So it's Ghen Myriad. Not exactly the deck that I would have envisioned, but KO making it work. This is gonna be nasty. I think Myriad stacks, so I think something's gonna get double Myriad, which might just be might get us over the hump we need to Rakdos Charm him to death. Only attacks with 2. KO, I think you just gotta send everything right there, right? Because I think he's gonna steal, like, all of the blockers. Yeah, he's gonna steal our blocker. What's that 4-mana artifact? I can't think of the name of it now. You know, one of the things I'm thinking about is that, like, if you had a Vidalcan Ori, would you be able to cast this chain reaction from exile at instant speed? Because that would be super helpful to our current state. And also, I think it just might be a helpful card in the deck. You'll have instant access to whatever you exile off the top. Let's check see how much damage is coming in our way. There's 4. There's 9. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna survive. The question is, let's count up all of his creatures here. 11, 12, 13. He has 13 creatures. He'll lose a couple as players die, which I think is going to happen. So, yeah, I think we cast this Rakdos Charm for the memes. KO goes to 4. We can take the 9. KO made a mistake by not grabbing the Iroas first. Because then all this would be, like, basically unblockable. Once he started stealing stuff, it became not a creature, so he couldn't take it any longer. Opponent's going to block 1. I think Kalemne's going to survive. I don't think it's looking too good for Jeff, though. Early reports on Legion Loyalty, by the way, are that it is very strong. I haven't been able to resolve one myself yet, but if you resolve it with a board state, from what I've heard, it's basically game-winning. When I did the short on it, my analysis was basically that it's powerful, but it's overcosted, and a lot of people are saying that the cost isn't even that big of a deal, because once it comes down, everyone dies. So, pretty cool. I do wish it was slightly cheaper. I mean, like 7? I really feel like 7 would have been fine. Where it gets tricky is when you're dealing with, like, green decks, where they get to 7 unbelievably fast. For non-green decks, I think 7 is a very fair cost. KO just said I wanted to do the thing, and I did the thing. No regrets. So Jeff actually disconnected right there, but I think he was about to take lethal. He's either going to take 13 or 14. I think he was taking 13. There's the exile triggers. We survive at 8, and, well, the 25 off the Kalemne is a concern. Also, the Swiftfoot Boots are a concern because they can just recast and hit us in the face. And they have an Iroas, which means we need 2 blockers. Ew. Yeah, none of that's any good. KO gets another Prosper trigger. He gets him a Kokoro. Oh, right, we have some things in exile. We can copy the cut, or we can just play this Marionette Master. Yeah, play the Marionette Master. Make a bunch of mana. Just go ahead and auto these. Fabricate, we'll take the additional power. +1/+1 counters, please. We'll play this Myriad Landscape. Get a treasure. We're gonna make a bunch of mana. I guess we have to target. So they go down to 5 after the Marionette Master triggers. Just because I want to kill with ribbons, we'll use the ribbons. It's X4, X5, X6. We'll go one more, just in case life gain shows up randomly. Down they go! Yeah, things kind of shaped up for us. We didn't get attacked as much as we could have. 1 additional attack throughout the game from anyone probably means we die. Also, I mean, I think KO could have sent his creatures in differently and probably taken us down. Oh, yep. So opponent had a True Conviction in their hand, so if they untapped, it was going to be Giants plus Iroas plus True Conviction. Yep. Yep, that would have done it. And they would have been on a lot of life, which would have made it difficult for everyone else to deal with them. So, yeah, they just needed one more turn. Probably a victim of the turn order, just a little bit. If their turn was before ours, then they'd probably get it. So, close game. As far as this deck, it's interesting. I've played a couple games with it, and from what I've seen, I don't think it's turn 6 fast, but I think it's very solid for like turn 7 or turn 8. There are a lot of powerful cards in this deck. Getting them all together is kind of a thing. As you saw in this game, we were just kind of sitting back, like not being the threat, and just kind of storing up mana and getting value and doing all that stuff. So that was all cool, and your opponents will need to recognize that this is a combo deck. They should be attacking you. Because letting this deck sit back and do its thing is not going to be good for you. So, but overall, I think it's a really solid build of the deck. It's got a lot of ramps, got a lot of removal. Honestly, in my opinion, you've got a bunch of X spells. I do wonder if you could add just a couple bigger cards in the deck. The deck does seem to generate mana really well. So, you know, I don't know, maybe add like 2 6-drops just to have some thump, like. And offhand, I don't know what the best cards for Prosper are, but even just like having a Grave Titan to do some blocking wouldn't be the worst idea. But it kind of depends on what you want. But I personally, because of the way this deck generates mana, would probably add just a couple bigger things to it. But Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some really good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below. And be sure to check out my other Dinosaur Week videos.